Discovery's Emmy-winning reality show Deadliest Catch is coming back for a remarkable season 17, and the captains are here to remind people to keep masked up until the numbers go way down for COVID. Just because you may have received the vaccines for COVID, it doesn't mean you are free to move about the cabin without a mask. We are getting closer to that, but for now, Discovery want to share the information that masks still matter. Today, TV show's Ace has the exclusive PSA clip for season 17 of the series that takes us out into the frigid Bering Sea. It is a PSA with captains Sig Hansen, F/V Northwestern, and Josh Harris, F/V Cornelia Marie, who talk about the importance of wearing a mask right now. The message is so timely, and especially coming before their 17th season return. The Deadliest Catch cast, crew, and network think it's so important to remind people that we are not out of the woods yet, and to help the captains share the message on stopping the spread. Being a ship captain means being prepared for just about anything, even a global pandemic. The CDC partnered with Discovery for a PSA featuring the stars of Deadliest Catch, one of cable's top shows returning for its landmark 17th season this spring. The spot, which was shot in Dutch Harbor, Alaska, with captains Sig Hansen and Josh Harris, encourages the importance of wearing a mask as they take on one of the world's most deadly jobs. In the opening of the clip, Captain Sig Hansen says, "Being a ship captain means being prepared for anything." Captain Josh Harris adds, "We're the ones responsible for making sure the crew makes it to port, safe and sound." Hansen says, "We have one of the most dangerous jobs on the planet, but right now, it's dangerous everywhere. So when medical experts say to wear your mask to fight the pandemic, wear your mask." CDC Deputy Director Jay Butler says, "Sig and Josh are right. Safety comes first, and the best way to prevent the spread of COVID is to wear your mask." The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, worked directly with Discovery on developing the spot, which airs on Discovery starting later this week. Back in last September, the finale of the series, shot in mid-February, when the COVID-19 pandemic began to make news across the globe. The production team and the captains fishing out of Dutch Harbor, Alaska had to think fast. In an interview with TV Insider's Kate Hahn, executive producer Bill Howard said, "What began as worries about the safety of loved ones in Seattle, where most of the captains have families, quickly grew to include concerns that the global seafood market could be negatively affected by lockdowns and travel restrictions." Prior to that, in an April 29, 2020 interview I had with Sig Hansen, he told me that he felt for the people losing business due to COVID, but to suck it up, so we could all get back to a normal life. April Neal is an entertainment writer and television critic. Neal is a member of the Television Critics Association, TCA, the Alliance of Women Film Journalists, AWFJ, Hollywood Critics Association, HCA, Gay and Lesbian Entertainment Critics Association, GALECA, and Critics' Choice Awards, Film and Television, CCA. Neal writes for the Idaho Press Tribune, Idaho Magazine, Boys Weekly, Hansen, Yahoo, and other entertainment sites. Deadliest Catch exclusive PSA. Sig Hansen and Josh Harris remind us masks still matter ahead of season 17, the Bering Sea, with its violent storms, frigid temperatures, and relentless waves, has long been a backdrop for some of the most intense moments in reality TV. For fans of Deadliest Catch, the name alone evokes images of daring men and women facing danger at every turn, braving some of the most treacherous waters in the world. But beyond the dramatic feats of crabbing and life-threatening conditions, there's another issue that's been quietly affecting these fishermen, one that's close to home for everyone, no matter the industry. As Deadliest Catch gears up for its 17th season, Captain Sig Hansen and fellow veteran Josh Harris are taking the opportunity to remind viewers of the continued importance of wearing masks in the fight against COVID-19, especially in light of the ongoing health risks that still linger in many parts of the world. It's a message rooted not only in the crew's experiences on deck, but also in a shared responsibility to protect their loved ones and communities. The battle on the Bering Sea meets a global battle. The Bering Sea isn't just the harshest workplace imaginable. It's also a place where teamwork and vigilance are crucial to survival. Whether they're battling giant waves, ice flows, or mechanical breakdowns, the men and women aboard the crab boats know they can't afford to let their guard down. The same vigilance, they argue, should extend to protecting themselves and others from COVID-19. In this exclusive PSA, Sig Hansen, who has captained the Northwestern for over 40 years, says it's easy to focus, but health remains a top priority, both on land and at sea. We are used to facing down danger, whether it's bad weather, bad equipment, or bad luck, Sig explains. But the pandemic was something else. It was an invisible threat, something we couldn't see coming. And if we didn't take care of ourselves, it could take us down. And that's not just bad for us. It's bad for everyone we love and everyone who depends on us. With COVID-19 still circulating in communities around the world, including isolated fishing ports and coastal towns, Sig and Josh stress that keeping safety protocols in place is as vital as ever. Even when you think you're safe, they remind us, the threat is still real. The personal toll of the pandemic. Josh Harris, captain of the Cornelia Marie, and the son of legendary fisherman Phil Harris, opens up about how the pandemic affected not just the crew, but his own family as well. I've seen how devastating this can be to families. I lost my father, Phil, to complications from a stroke. And the last thing I wanted was to lose anyone else because we didn't take precautions. We didn't need another preventable tragedy. Josh's experience with the pandemic on the deck of the Cornelia Marie was challenging, with crews having to deal with strict health protocols and quarantine requirements while continuing to fish. The reality of being confined to a ship for months at a time with a crew that could be exposed to COVID-19 in the middle of the Bering Sea tested not only their resilience, but also their solidarity. It was difficult to navigate, Josh recalls. We had to make sure we didn't bring COVID back to our homes, back to our communities. You can't just call a lifeboat if things go south. So when it comes to masks and other safety measures, we've got to look out for each other. Josh says that wearing a mask became just another piece of gear on the boat, right alongside the foul weather gear and protective boots. It didn't matter if we were hauling in pots or waiting for weather to clear. Masks were as essential as a life jacket. They kept us safe. It's simple, really. It's just the right thing to do. Keeping the crew and the fans safe while the pandemic has taken a toll on all industries, the crabbing industry, especially the high-risk, high-reward world of Deadliest Catch, is uniquely vulnerable. Working long hours in close quarters on a boat with a small crew meant that even a single exposure could put the entire operation in jeopardy. Add to that the logistical challenges of quarantines, travel restrictions, and isolating crew members for weeks on end, and you have the recipe for a deeply challenging season. But that's why masks, social distancing, and other precautions became part of the routine. From pre-season testing to ongoing monitoring, everyone on the boat made it a priority to stay healthy, not just to ensure their safety, but also to protect their families and communities back home. The pandemic didn't just affect us on the boat, Sig adds. It affected everyone in town. It affected our families, our neighbors, the people who supply us with gear and supplies. If we didn't take care of ourselves, we put the whole fishing community at risk. The message for viewers is, Deadliest Catch fans prepare to tune in for the new season. Sig and Josh's message is clear. Wearing masks and taking other COVID-19 precautions is a simple but vital act of responsibility, both for the crew and for society. The message isn't just about following the rules, but about looking out for one another, a sentiment that has always been at the core of the Deadliest Catch ethos. Sig stresses, we've all seen how wearing a mask can prevent the spread of COVID-19. It's not about being scared. It's about protecting each other and doing what's necessary to keep the team strong. Josh, too, urges fans to continue following safety measures, even as the world slowly returns to a sense of normalcy. It's easy to think that the pandemic is over, but we know from experience that we can't let our guard down. In the Bering Sea, we don't take chances with safety, and in life, we shouldn't either. We're all in this together, and the more we protect each other, the sooner we'll come through this. A message of hope and resilience despite the challenges posed by the pandemic. Both Sig and Josh remain hopeful. The resilience that defines the Deadliest Catch crew, forged over decades of dangerous work on the water, is the same resilience that will help the world navigate through this pandemic. While the waves may be rough and the winds may howl, Sig and Josh remind us that we are all capable of overcoming adversity if we stick together. As fishermen, we understand what it means to face something bigger than you, Sig reflects. That's what the Bering Sea is every day. But we don't face it alone. We face it together. The same goes for this pandemic. We're all in this together, and that's how we're going to get through it.